The DA says that centralisation has resulted in the failure of various state functions. It has cited policing, public transport and the energy crisis as examples. The party says that local and provincial governments must have autonomy so that they can improve service delivery to communities.
55% of all South Africa's agricultural exports comes from the Western Cape. So it is in our interest to protect trade, and particularly our international trade as well. Our biggest trading partner right now from the Western Cape is the United States. And you know what is currently happening with the national government and its relationship with Russia in terms of the war in Ukraine. So they and their actions and their foreign policies is harming trade in the Western Cape. And we are not going to sit back here and watch how our trade and our jobs are being destroyed by the ANC national government. That's why we have included trade, including international trade, is part of this provincial and local autonomy.
The party has stressed that the bill is completely different from the People's Bill recently submitted by the Freedom Front Plus, which calls for self-determination in the Western Cape.
This is not a cessation bill. We oppose other parties who propose a cessation bill, and we will vote it down if it is presented in the House. Absolutely clarity. So the Premier is correct in his statement that he made in the House. This bill is also not a bill to take over power illegally. We want greater devolution of power within the current constitutional framework. Because one of the principles of the Democratic Alliance is constitutionalism and the rule of law.
Local authorities say that their push for devolution is most notable in the area of policing. They say poor resource allocation, outdated systems and a lack of public trust makes it imperative that the policing function is devolved.
With most of these functions that we are driving towards devolving the control of to local or provincial government, they will have to come with the budgets. It's not feasible to say to local government, okay, you can take over the policing function, as we've increasingly stepped into. 2/3 of our work is now crime prevention as the city, and it should be traffic and bylaw enforcement. Crime prevention is the primary function of SABC. But as their capacity and ability has receded and their resources have suffered attrition, we've increasingly had to step into that space. It's not sustainable, though. And if you are going to devolve the control of these functions to local and provincial government, it will have to come with the budget.
The DA says it will forge ahead with its push for the devolution of powers, regardless of next year's election outcomes. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.